Today I want to share with you the 4 blades I would use in the apocalypse. And this is a truly interesting thought experiment, that if we knew that on the calendar tomorrow was the end of the world, that we could actually hear the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse galloping in, and they are going to be ushering in a completely different world. Dog eat dog, complete chaos, anarchy, where you have to now live off the land, defend your loved ones and yourself when all those creature comforts are gone. And so I'm going to share with you the 4 blades I would take with me and why to accomplish different tasks in an environment, a hypothetical environment, but maybe it doesn't feel so hypothetical. But I want to hear from you guys as well. So I challenge you throughout this video to be thinking about, man, if I could only have 4 blades and I had to survive and live in a whole new world and the apocalypse was coming, what 4 blades would those be? Leave comments below throughout the video. I'm really looking forward to this kind of fun, but also, you know, thought-provoking thought exercise. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. Now, we got to have a super solid pocket knife for the end of the world. And probably a lot of you, your mind went straight to this, and you and I are on the same track. But if it didn't, I would have to say that the Cold Steel RECON 1 would be my first choice in pocket knives for the end of the world. Now, to better understand why I would choose the RECON 1, we have to look at 3 major variables that will help us filter out a lot of other tools. The first is versatility. These tools have to be very versatile, being able to process food, clean game, be able to do utility tasks, be able to do woods crafting and bushcraft if necessary, and God forbid, be able to defend ourselves if necessary. Now, along with that, our second thing is capability. They have to be capable in these roles. If they're not very capable in any of these particular scenarios, well, then we're probably going to regret having them as our tools in the apocalypse. And then finally is reliability. And therefore going to have to be able to stand the test of time, because it's the end of the world. We're not going to be able to just drop something in our shopping cart on Amazon and have it arrive in 4 hours. This may be the last time we're ever able to get our hands on these tools. And so with those 3 variables in mind, the Cold Steel RECON 1 rises to the top almost immediately. It's been around forever, originally in an AUS 8 version. Shout out to you guys who are still rocking an AUS 8 version. Leave a comment below if you are. And it's very simple, but very reliable triad lockback design. This is such a durable design. I have batoned with multiple versions and never had a failure, never had it, wear out on me, break on me, collapse on me, anything like that. So durability-wise and capability-wise, it definitely has that going for it. There are several different blade shapes that are available, so you can kind of really fine-tune what you prefer. For me personally, I would say probably drop point or clip point would be ideal for the scenario we're discussing, because those tend to be the most versatile for a lot of different tasks. And the ergonomics really give you a very confident purchase with a lot of different scenarios: reverse grip, gloves, non-gloved, and you can pierce, stab with that and feel very confident in your grip. But you can also do, woods crafting and whittling and, have to make a feather stick. And if you had to break down a little bit of kindling for some reason, you could do that with this tool. And then ultimately doing like pinch pull cuts and things like that for preparing food or, cleaning animals. This tool absolutely has that ability. And now with the S35 VN version, which is I currently have, but they also have a Magna Cut version, and both of those steels are excellent, I feel like, for the type of scenario that we're talking about, because they tend to be rather rust resistant, relatively easy to maintain and put edges back on, and they are rather durable, so they'll hold an edge longer, and so you're not constantly having to hone at the edge. So for me, our first blade in this scenario of the 4 blades of the apocalypse is absolutely the Cold Steel RECON 1. But leave a comment below and let me know if you disagree and if there's some other folder that you would take. Now, prepping for the apocalypse can get expensive real quick, but the next blade on my list is about as expensive as a cup of coffee and a breakfast sandwich at your favorite coffee shop. But before we get to that, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is LA Police Gear. And I partner with LAPG because not only do they carry excellent premium gear that would absolutely help you survive the apocalypse, along with an extensive selection of packs and pouches for you to be able to carry and organize your survival gear, along with the gear you may need to put in your go bags, including medical supplies, illumination, and firearm accessories, just to name a few. But LA Police Gear also has their long-standing series of gear and apparel that gives you high capability at high value. Regardless if it's level 4 armor for your chest rig, well laid out packs to carry your gear, or LA Police Gear's legendary series of pants. And so I'll have a link in the description box below over to the LA Police Gear website where you can start exploring all the different gear and equipment that they offer, along with my exclusive 10% off promo code that you can apply towards your purchase. And I hope this will empower you to save a little scratch and help yourself get better prepared, regardless if it's a trip to the office tomorrow or the potential for the apocalypse. So next up on our list to hopefully help you survive the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse with this second of our 4 blades of the apocalypse would absolutely have to be, you knew it was coming, the MORA Companion. That's right, guys, you don't have to go break the bank to have a tool that will help you survive the end of the world. The MORA Companion series is, in my opinion, one of the most capable, reliable, and durable tools you can use and have in your rotation. It is a series of tools that you can get either carbon or stainless steel, depending on your environment, depending on your preference. These are going to have Scandi grinds, which are superb for woodworking. These are exceptional in that area. They are extremely light. Depending on if you go with the original companion or the heavy duty companion, you may or may not have a level of sliceability to durability. You have to determine and choose. If you were to hold my feet to the fire, I would say the original, that's a little bit thinner stocked, so it's a little bit better for food prep, and it will be a little bit better at the very fine woods working, because that is going to be potentially something I have to do a lot of, and I want something that's very precise, very fine, and able to handle a plethora of different tasks. And these tools are just, I cannot say enough about them. If you have never owned a MORA, you've been missing out. Skip coffee and a donut, this week, and pick yourself up a model. And there are plenty to choose from, not just the companion. That's the one I like the most because of its shape, size, and handle dimensions. But the basic model is also a great variant and even more inexpensive. You can go a little bit pricier and go with like a Garberg with a little bit better steel and like a 90-degree spine, those type of things. These tools, particularly the companion series, to me, would be the tool that would probably actually see, I would say, at least 50% of the action in this type of scenario because of the food prepping capability. If you go with the thinner stock model, obviously all the carving, but it has the tactile grip and the piercing point that worst case scenario, if I had to, defend, hearth and home, I could do it. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it absolutely is capable in that type of scenario. But let me know what you guys think of the MORAs in general. Is there a better variant out there? And if you were gonna take a MORA of one of your 4 blades of the apocalypse, which variant would you take? Now, I know I get asked from you guys all the time, hey man, where can I pick up that particular blade you're talking about or this piece of equipment? I'll have links to all of the blades we're talking about today in the description box below, to the affiliate networks I partner with, like DLT Trading, bladehq, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, Amazon, just to name a few. So you can explore these tools, and if there's one that stands out to you that you want to maybe test out for yourself and potentially throw in your own go bags and survival kits, those will all be provided below. But I do want to invite you to hit the like button as well. And if you're not yet a subscriber, do consider subscribing, hit the bell icon so you can be notified every week when I put up videos and content just like this. And coming into our 3rd blade, we're gonna go big. We gotta go big or we gotta go home. And this tool gives me a lot of reach, a lot of capability that few blades can, and a level of just balance and just reliability that is hard to often find. And this tool may be especially good for those of you who live in more humid, jungly environments like the Florida Everglades, maybe down in South America. I live in a high plains desert at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, so the vegetation for me is a lot different, but who knows if I'm coming up against zombies or there's just particular scenarios where I need a lot of reach in my tool. The knife that comes to my mind that I would absolutely take, like easy, hands down, it's tried and true, been here since almost the beginning of the channel, is the ESEE JUNGLAS. This is a 10-inch machete that is made out of 1095 steel here in America. Now, 1095 is kind of a boring steel in, you know, this world that we now live in, but it's just tried and true. It's simple, it's super durable. The way ESEE has heat treated and taken care of these blades, I have used this particular model for a decade and it has always stood up to any task that I put it through. And it gives me that reach that you may need sometimes in clearing vegetation. If I have to split down kindling and I don't have an axe with me or a hatchet, I can baton large pieces of wood without much difficulty, but it gives me the ergonomics. And I don't know if you know this trick, you can put your hand through the lanyard hole, and there's this term, I believe Ethan Becker is where I heard it from. You know, maybe he heard it from somebody else too, originally, but a little knife can only do what a little knife can do. A big knife can do what a big knife can do and what a little knife can do. Because you can just choke up on that front end and you can do a lot of fine work as well. I can get feather sticks if I have to. I would have loved to have this with a choil. I've never done that. I've never ground in a choil because I don't want to cause an integrity issue of like messing up the heat treat or something like that. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I just haven't ever done that. It comes with a phenomenal Kydex sheath. That carrying a tool like this is very important because I've tested tons of other big blades that have some great pros, but they always seem to have a few cons, and I always circle back to the ESEE JUNGLAS. So that would be my third choice to do all of the large tasks. I could absolutely defend myself with it against a horde of zombies if I had to, but will absolutely get a lot of other tasks done around camp, around the home, around the hearth, if I had to. But let me know from you guys, if we're talking big blades, let's say over 8 inches, what would be your choice of these 4 blades for the apocalypse? All right, guys, here we go. The fourth and final blade of the apocalypse that I would take with me on the adventure of a whole new world that would come towards us if that were to happen. And before I get to the model I would choose, I'm actually going to give you 3, whoops, if I can count, 3 honorable mentions, but that didn't quite hit it for me. But depending on price, depending on your choices, would be great alternatives. First is the Gerber Strong Arm. Great choice. It's in my go bags currently, but I'm contemplating swapping them out for the blade I'm going to talk about in a moment. It is super tough. It is bomb proof, a 90-degree spine. It's slim, it's quick. You could defend yourself with it. You have to put some elbow grease into it to get the edge to actually perform like it should for like finer work, like woodworking and stuff. So it's okay in that arena. And when it comes to food prep, it's laughable. It's not going to do anything around your camp kitchen. And say I lose my Mora, it breaks. Name one of the other things. Someone else is using one of my other tools. These blades have to be able to accomplish those tasks if I have to in a pinch. And the Gerber Strong Arm just isn't there for me. And the edge retention is kind of a joke on the 428C. So that's an honorable mention. If you're on a really tight budget, you might be able to make it work. Another one is the Cold Steel SRK. Excellent blade, great for self-defense rolls. It's not my first choice for woodworking. Yeah, it's kind of got a short, thick blade, and same with food prep. So utility, cutting cordage, rope, piercing, stabbing, hard use, bomb-proof type of task, absolutely. But I am not going to enjoy doing food prep. I am not going to enjoy cleaning game, and I'm not going to enjoy doing a bunch of woodworking with it. It just doesn't have the edge geometry that I prefer. Then finally, the SOG Pillar, excellent S35VN blade, 90-degree spine, aggressive, high grind. It really comes down to the ergonomics. The ergos are excellent for like reverse grip, hammer grips, stabbing, piercing, slashing, but it doesn't really have the grip that I would want if I had to do a lot of woodworking for a long period of time. It just wouldn't be my first choice. So those are 3 honorable mentions. What's the one that I just can't get enough of that would actually be kind of like the balance point for all the blades we're talking today? It would be the LIONSTEEL. Oh man, we got like 3 variants that you probably know I'm gonna go to. Which one is it gonna be? The LIONSTEEL T5. The T5, guys. The T5 is my jam. I cannot get enough of this blade. I've made multiple videos on it. You guys as well, just like every time I talk about this tool. If you're unfamiliar with this knife, it's a 5-inch knife, so that falls right in that category of being able to do some bigger tasks if necessary, but also being able to do fine woodworking at the same time. It is got one of the most ergonomic, but most tactical and aggressive handles I've ever held. It's so beefy, I can carve with it, I can notch with it, I can do all kinds of stuff, I can do reverse grips, but if I have to stab, if I have to slash, if I have to do quick things, it's got a huge guard on it, and it just locks me in. I can stab, I can pierce, and have the confidence in the grip, but I can also do all those fine cuts. Then the blade shape, you know, there are tons of great blades similar to it, but a lot of them have more blunt, woods-focused like tips. This has a more piercing, aggressive tip, so I can pierce and penetrate if I need to, but still has enough belly and sweep that it can absolutely carve, whittle, split wood. I can delimb, but I can also cut through food and do those type of tasks if I had to. Has a 90-degree spine on it. It's gonna be 0.2 thickness, but it still comes in at like, I can't remember, 9-10 ounces, so it's very fast and quick in the hand. I have done everything I could to it with its very unique Nylox steel, which is stainless. Kind of, I mean, it's, I believe, a D2 variant with some, it's kind of like S35VN and D2 kind of had a baby, I guess. I've never had an issue with it, and it's been very aggressive, very capable, very rare that I even have to like tune it up, but all I have to do is throw a ceramic rod on it for a few moments, and it's shaving sharp again. So all of those things coming together allow me to have confidence in a last-ditch survival scenario and I have to defend myself, or if I'm just making dinner around camp, or if I have to do a bunch of bushcraft. Any way you slice it, I am so pleased with this tool. And currently you can now get them, they come standard with leather, which is a good leather sheath for what it is, but you can now get Kydex as a variant as well. And it would be awesome in some future rendition to see some different steel variants, but I've always been pleased with the Nylox and how it's been performing for me. So guys, that's my fourth horseman, fourth blade of the apocalypse to fend off the horsemen of the apocalypse. How about that? In the scenarios, that is my current for 2024, and maybe in a few years other models come out that trump all four of these, who knows. But for now, these are the models that I would build out, that I would start with, and that if I had to trust 4 tools in my kit, let's say, for the rest of eternity until I passed on into eternity, these would be it. These would be my choices currently. But I look forward to hearing from you guys, your thought experiment. And let me know if you like this kind of concept. We can go into a lot of different gear. We can go into a lot of different ideas based off of this video concept. And so spin-offs, you know, on just like prepping, survival, and preparedness in a way that we haven't for a while here at the channel. And I'd like to get back into it, but I want to know what you guys take in thoughts are as well. Look forward to hearing your guys' lists and all your thoughts. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. I hope it's been fun, informative, and also entertaining, and really giving you some food for thought all at the same time. So appreciate you guys. Check out the other videos. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.